Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm going to do a little review over Matthew 20. The Christ is telling the parable about a landowner who had a vineyard, and he was harvesting his grapes. So he hired some people at a daily wage to get the grapes in, and then he saw some other people standing around doing nothing, and he's like, why haven't you been? Why haven't you been? Why aren't you working? And they're like, nobody hired me. Well, come on. So they start picking up grapes. And like 1 hour left of the day, end of the day, he sees some other people, hires them, and then he paid everybody the same. He paid everybody a daily wage, even the ones that only worked for an hour. He paid the ones that came last first. And the ones that came first, they were upset. And he's like, hey, didn't you agree to work at this wage? All right. What are you doing telling me what I need to do, with my money? Okay. And so Christ is relating that to people coming to salvation. And then there was a couple blind guys came along, and he healed them. Oh yeah, and in between he told them about how he was going to go in and get betrayed and turned over to the religious leaders, and then to the pagans, which are the Romans, and then they were gonna he was gonna get beaten and crucified, and then he healed the two blind guys. All right, so it made me think of a couple things. I saw this one pastor. I didn't get his name, but he was doing a chapel service at the arena where the Utah Jazz play basketball, and he filled the floor for an altar call. And then while they're all standing there just accepting Jesus Christ, all these people, he told them a story about Rocky Marciano, the undefeated heavyweight boxer, and he'd been talking to him for years, and he called him up and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna get this thing straight with God. I'm gonna go to Alaska," and then he ended up dying in a plane crash on that flight. And then then Mickey Mantle, he'd always do chapel for the Yankees, and Mickey Mantle would be always flipping with, one of these days, and maybe next time, And so there he is, dying of liver cancer, in the hospital, and right before he died, that chaplain came in and got Mickey Mantle to accept Jesus Christ. And I had a business partner who was an atheist, and we'd get talking about the Bible and about and I told him that story. He's like, "So you saying, but it kind of reminds me of that cartoon of the Pink Panther. He's in a plane that's going down, and he's standing at the door in the plane, waiting. And for the last second, he steps out the plane, and the plane crashes, and he just walks away, right? And it's kind of so this is kind of what it's like, But what it is like to me is training. I used to hate missing a day of training because everybody else would get a little bit better shape and a little bit better understanding, and they would, better than me. I used to hate that, and so I hated missing a day. And what we're called to do when we come to know Jesus, when we come disciples, is disciple. We are. That's what we're supposed to do. Tell more people about Jesus. We are supposed to bring more people to church. All right, and that's what it's about. Okay, bringing more. Go out and getting more workers. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay, because it's heaven is here on earth. We just have to build it. Okay, and the way we build it is getting more people to understand what salvation is. Okay, and that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. Okay, and it's amazing. There's so many out there that they all think that they're the only one. They got to hold off the world by themselves, right? Because we don't talk to each other. All right. I had a job as a debt management consultant, and it seemed like the only people that wanted to get out of debt were Christians. But it's who you attract, right? And I think I talked to one guy, and that wasn't, and I'm like, dude, you're the only one I've ever talked to that's not a Christian that wants to get in. You don't want to get out of debt. You just want to argue with me. So that proves my point. But there's something going on right now that I seem to be like the only one paying attention to, and the Federal Reserve is bailing out banks, okay, because they're lending out more money than they have, and they have to maintain a certain reserve requirement, and they're borrowing money from the Federal Reserve to maintain those requirements, and I'm like, well, where's it going? And I'm hearing, that there's a real estate crisis going on again. But I don't see that. Texas is an interesting state. You used to have certain laws. In 2008, Texas was pretty much went unscathed because of the way their laws are. You can't borrow more against property than what you paid for. In fact, you can only borrow 80% of what you paid for the property, like the first 3 years, and then only up to 80% loan to value after that. And then so there's not a the values of real estate in Texas don't climb up as much as like they did in California, and then there's property taxes that the municipalities can charge. Can tap onto you, and so they don't like to keep the higher your real estate's worth, the more you pay in taxes, right? So people don't want to do that. But there's something going on, and I saw first Glenn Beck talking about it, and then the second day on a video he shows this graph that in 2000, end of 2007, 2008, there's a lot of activity with the reserve, and the nothing for 10 years, and now there's like 30% more activity going on there was 2007, 2008. But I'm talking to people, I'm like, okay, what is it? And I heard this other guy talking, and he keeps talking about the baby boomers lifestyle, living on credit cards, keeping up with the Joneses, right? And then he said that of the 28 million baby boomers who haven't got their enough put away for retirement, the half of them are coming to retirement age in 2020, and that's when it hit me. There are speculators that are leveraging everything they can on a sure bet. They're betting against the market. They're betting that that all these unfunded pensions, state and municipal pensions, are gonna, they don't have enough. All these retirees start pulling money out at the same time, they're gonna collapse, and and it's going to have a domino effect. It's going to affect the real estate market, because these guys are going to, they're going to sell their houses, and they're going to move into retirement facilities or whatever, right? So it's going to have a major effect, but it's not going to be the bank. This is a sure bet. So these speculators who are leveraging, getting as much money out of the banks as they can to buy in these derivatives, they're gonna get their money back for sure. This is gonna happen. They're not gonna stop it, and there's gonna be problems. There's gonna be some big challenges, right? And this is crazy. This is what it's like. It's all because all these baby boomers and all didn't listen. They didn't listen, or they listened to the wrong message. Okay, they spent their money. They live paycheck to paycheck, all right, and they eat out, and they're undisciplined. Wow. And that's what's happened. That's what's happened. They bought more real estate, bought second homes, right? And they didn't prepare for the flood. They didn't go into the ark, right? There's so many. It's wow. Okay, but it's okay. People, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. Okay. Things are gonna have to change. People are gonna. The sooner people start getting it together, the better it's going to be for everybody. Okay, but it's like, it makes me think of the Israelites, and they just didn't get it. They kept going back to the pagan gods. Okay, they kept, and it's because those influences were there all the time, and they're still there. It's uncanny how you're seeing practices from the Old Testament, from the pagans, that are happening right now, under some other name, under some other. It's not called a religion, right? It's that's craziness. How some of those practices are, they're actually sacrifices and rituals that are going on right now, and by people, and they're not called that. It's amazing. But what's in the Bible, it pertains to what's right now. What is in the Scripture is talking to us right as things are right now. All right, bye.